Hello, long time no see. I thought I'd finally get back into this. Things have been happening. What can I say? Anyway, I'm going to do 5 cars today because I felt like I should catch up a bit. What capital city is home to Aegean Helles beer? I think that would be Athens because Aegean Helles sounds like a thing from Greece. I mean, it could be one of the other countries down there, but. What was the silver streak in the 1976 Gene Wilder film? No idea. Although, was it possibly something like a streak in their hair? Anyway. Who died first, Peter Sellers or John Lennon? I'm going to say John Lennon. What was 1803's Almanach des Gourmands the first guide to? Restaurants. What Regent's Park Zoo attraction died at the age of 32 in 1978? I assume it's a gorilla of some description. Is it like George the gorilla? Because who can think of original names? Again, since I was 1 year old in 1978, you can probably forgive me for not knowing. What is the name of the receptacle into which wine tasters empty their mouths? A spittoon would be one word for it, but I suspect they have a fancier name for it. Anyway, let's see how I did without spoiling myself first. So, Athens is indeed the place where Aegean Helles is from. The silver streak was a train. Choo-choo. Peter Sellers died before John Lennon. It was the first guide to restaurants. It was Guy the gorilla, and it is indeed a spittoon that people spit into. So what? That was 3 out of the 6. So let's update the score. There we go. Next card. What island, much mentioned during the conflict, lies 800 miles to the east of the Falklands? I'm going to kick myself. This is something I should probably know. Again, I was quite young then, so. Because the island Indians called the Falklands the Malvinas. It's something like George. Or, let's say George. But it's probably not. Where did Martha Longhurst draw her last breath in Coronation Street? The Rover's Return, because basically that's the only place I know of in, well, that and the shop, obviously. I mean, it's been a long time since I've watched a soap, to be honest. What country opened the first monorail system in 1964? Monorail! Let's say Japan, because it's always the future in Japan. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's America. What city might you take the M4 motorway to visit the Watershed Arts centre. So, is that going to be Bristol? Does the M4 go as far as Bristol? Let's say Bristol, because that's the thing about the watershed. Because otherwise it's going to be Oxford as any other famous place that way. So let's say Bristol. What is poisoned if you have toxemia? I wonder if that's the blood. The final question on this card. What events made up Lasse Viren's Olympic double in 1976? Now, was 76 would have been possibly a Winter Olympics, because yes, they were the same year back then. Skiing and ski jump. No. So let's see how I did on this card. Okay, so it's South Georgia, which yes, now that I've read that, that's right. The rover's return was indeed the place that person died in Coronation Street. Japan had the first monorail. Bristol was indeed where the Watershed Arts Centre is at the end of the M4. Your blood is poisoned if you have toxemia, and it was the 5,000 and 10,000 metres, so not skiing and ski jump. So again, that was another. Well, no, that was 4 out of that 6. So 7 out of 30. Next card. So I get distracted by the first question. Shouldn't let that happen to me. Okay, so how many X's are there in the name of Queensland's famous band? There would be 4 X's, because 4X, Castlemaine 4X. So 4. What film's theme song did Ray Parker Jr. have a top 10 hit with in 1984? That would be Ghostbusters. Who are you going to call Ghostbusters? Who are you going to call Ghostbusters? Who was on the British phone at the outbreak of World War One? Is that George Six? Is that or Fifth? One of the two. What hymn is the anthem of the Women's Institute? Jerusalem, I believe. Which 2 planets should you not travel between to avoid being hit by asteroids? So it is Mars and I can't remember if it's Jupiter or Saturn first. Yes, it's out of Mars before the gas giants. And I'll say Saturn, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's no, it is. Yes, it is. Is it between us and Mars anyway? Mars is definitely one of them. I'll say Mars and Saturn. I'm going to hate myself if I get this wrong. Not hate myself, that's wrong. It's only a card game after all. But what is the popular name for a 6-horse accumulator comprising 57 varieties of bets? So the 57 varieties would suggest it's a Heinz, because Heinz famously has 57 varieties. They don't, but there you go. So let's see how I did on that card. And okay, yeah. There are indeed 4Xs in Castlemaine 4X. Ray Parker Jr. did indeed have a hit with Ghostbusters. Busting makes me feel good. George V, not 6th. Jerusalem is the anthem of the Women's Institute. It is Mars and Jupiter, which must mean Jupiter is before Saturn. I probably should know that. Well, I used to know that. I probably should still. And then 57 varieties is in shock news are Heinz. So that was again 4 out of 6, but that's it. So 11. Next card. What was the second largest US state in 1950? Yeah. So Texas and Alaska. Was Alaska bought then? Did that knock Texas down, or is Texas still big? Because after all the MacArthur projection, I'm going to say Alaska, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's Texas. Is any other answer? Who had a hit with Every Time You Go Away in 1985? No idea. No. I hate entertainment questions. What flow did a German submarine sink HMS Royal Oak in? The Scapa flow, I suspect. There's supposedly family history about the Scapa flow. I mean, how many words, the nearest 5, are there in the Lord's Prayer? God, the Lord's Prayer. Having never been really religious, I was at my middle school made to learn the Lord's Prayer, and then they got upset because our copy of the Bible had a different version, but there you go. I'm going to say 55. I mean, I probably could have just done. I am reciting in my head, but I really can't be asked to bother. What number of degrees must an acute angle not exceed to remain acute? I believe that's 90. Again, it's a thing I used to know, but what is the last element of a 3-day event? That's the show jumping, I think. Or is it the da? No, it's the show jumping, isn't it? Yes. I think, anyway. No. Let's go for show jumping. Anyway, let's see. Before I second guess myself. California, which is probably right. Again, it's the other answer. Paul Young. I mean, I've heard of Paul Young, but doesn't mean I know what the name of his songs. It's indeed the Scapa flow. It is 65 number of words in. Yes, so I was off by 10, but not far. Yes, okay. An acute angle was okay. What was the word saying? I suppose yes. The answer is 89. I was thinking that in my head as well. Show jumping is indeed the last event in a 3-day event. So that was 2, and I am upset I got one of them wrong. But there you go. Last card for today. Aha, Steve is telling me that Alaska was after 1950. So yeah, it probably was, to be honest. I mean, who knows when they brought it off the Russians? Well, people who care about American history, obviously. Last card. What baddie does the Australian town of Glenrowan make and sell memorabilia of? That's Ned Kelly, isn't it? With his like steel buckets and shit like that. What US city hosted the 1985 Live Aid concert? Was that Philadelphia? Maybe that or Pittsburgh. Who did Mrs. Bandaranaike succeed as Prime Minister of Ceylon in 1959? No idea. It's what I think you're supposed to know, but there you go. I mean, okay. Mr. Bandaranaike. Because there must be a reason why they put Mrs. to be honest. And I probably, even though I was reading that, what river does the Shakespeare Memorial Theatre overlook? The Avon, but is that the... No, that's not it. That's probably right. Okay. What French scientist has been dubbed the father of modern brewing? I read a book about this the other day, and I think this is Pasteur. As well as inventing lots of things, he also worked out that yeast is a thing. Which of the two taxpayers separate Park Lane and Mayfair on a monopoly board? Is that luxury tax? So let's see how we do it on this card. Ned Kelly was indeed the Australian person that they sell stuff of in that town. Philadelphia was indeed where Live Aid was in America. It was like Wembley, so London in the UK, and indeed it was Mr. Bandaranaike who was the Prime Minister before Mrs. Bandaranaike. The Shakespeare Memorial Theatre does overlook the Avon. It is indeed Louis Pasteur who is the father of modern brewing. And it's super tax, not luxury tax. I mean, it's been a while since I played Monopoly, but there you go. So, that was... that was 5, wasn't it? That was a good card. So, that was 18 out of 30. And so, not bad. Over half. Might do this again soon. Who knows? Depends what I feel like. One of the things is when the weather's nice, like I really shouldn't be sitting in the computer for more than I really should be. I mean, I do just go and hide downstairs instead, but there we go. But yeah, after having done some gardening this afternoon and then it started raining, I thought I could go sit in front of the computer for a while. Anyway, maybe see you all soon. Maybe I won't. See ya. Bye.